Tim Constantine from the Washington Times for America, joined by our good friend, David Bozell. Happy holidays, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Tim.
Merry
How
Christmas.
are you?
Happy New Year.
You too.
Good, good, good. You know, one of the oldest things in the world of media is to either look backwards or look forwards. Heaven forbid we focus on the present. Let's take a quick look back at the year 2023, the year that was, and say, what was the biggest disappointment, news-wise, of the year?
Well, it's tough to argue with the performance of the Republican Party writ large. I mean, I thought about this question, and do you pin it on Kevin McCarthy? Do you pin it on Ronna McDaniel with the subpar election results? I kind of tend to pin it on the cadre of Republican membership that don't want to vote as typical Republicans. If the Democrats weren't so crazy with their gender ideology and their obsession with abortion and climate change, I think a lot of Republicans in the left-wing part of the flank would have changed parties long ago. They don't want to cut any government at all. This Republican Congress, the majority in the House, is going to spend more money this year than the Democrats last year. It's criminal.
I would agree with you. The Republicans have been a bitter disappointment in 2023. I'm going to take it a little more personal, a little honed in on one item, and say the pro-life movement.
Yeah.
God bless the people that are working in the pro-life movement, but those elected officials who for 50 years have said they're pro-life, and the best they can do is offer up 15 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not pro-life. That's an
No.
abortion bill that is more liberal than virtually every country on earth except two. When people are claiming and have spent their lives claiming to be pro-life, and now they're demonstrating they're not, that disappoints me.
We had a red state, Ohio, vote for abortion on demand.
Right.
I did not see that one coming. The pro-life community needs to get its act together vis-a-vis its political messaging. We've discussed that before. It has to be priority one going into 2024.
All right, everything we do, when you and I look, we are eternal optimists. We always hope for the best. Even if we worry, we hope for the best. What was the biggest surprise in 2023?
Biggest surprise, not exactly a positive one. For me, it was watching Bud Light and Disney stiff-arm their customer base. I mean, and they were committed to it. I mean, it started with Bud Light. They handed this award to Dylan Mulvaney. They ended up losing $20 billion over the summer. They lose over 20% of the market share. And they seem to be, outside of some advertisement with Ultimate Fighting, they seem to be very slow on the uptick to try to remedy that relationship with its core customer base. Disney is another one. Flop after flop, The Little Mermaid and Indiana Jones didn't do very well. All the Marvel movies that they put out, they all flopped. They had to pull Snow White because it was so woke and during test screenings. They basically pulled it. Yes, the resorts are doing well, but their streaming operations are losing hundreds of millions of dollars per quarter. They just lost $367 million in the fourth quarter, which was an improvement over the 1.2, I think, billion that they lost last year. They just, the content from supposedly a pro-family, pro-conservative values company just hasn't been there.
Quick bonus question, because this time of year is traditionally family time of year. People go out. There's usually a big movie release during the Christmas week. Families go out during that week. Everybody's together. Everybody's stuck together. Yeah. After 3 or 4 days, they've talked whatever they want to talk about, and they need to go and do something as a family. Movies have been a big part of that traditionally. Yeah. A year ago, in November of a year ago, Top Gun Maverick, which was just a traditional story.
Right.
But biggest movie that did fantastic. And yet they went right back to that woke formula. Will Hollywood, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but will Hollywood get that message? Will they go back to simply entertaining people rather than trying to tell us what to think?
No, I just saw a trailer the other day. Hollywood's put out a movie called The Civil War, where Texas and California joined forces to fight the evil government. No, they seem very intent in dividing this country by political and cultural lines. And their profits and losses don't seem to matter. I think their stakeholders eventually have to get their acts in gear and start storming some of these stakeholder meetings and saying, what are you doing? Get back to what made these companies the gold standard in the Western Hemisphere. They just don't seem to be able to, well, their staffs are just intent on creating content that caters to the LGBTQ2 plus community. That seems to be what they go to work to accomplish every
Biggest
day.
prediction for 2024, what will the next letter be added? I'm sorry.
Maybe
never
not
mind.
a letter, just one of the, like maybe the @ sign.
It'd be the Prince sign, where
That's
he
right.
was no longer a name, it was a symbol.
It should just be asterisks.
Let's look ahead to 2024.
Yeah.
Big question is Trump and Biden are far and away the leaders in their parties right now, and yet you've heard me say I don't know that either one of them will end up being the nominee. Not
Right.
what I want, what I think might happen.
Right.
I wonder, as you look forward, is there any scenario in your mind by which someone other than Joe Biden or someone other than Donald Trump is the nominee of their party?
I don't think Joe makes it. Who takes his place? I don't know. Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama are the tops in terms of options for them. I just don't think Joe makes it. His health, his polling is terrible. Once his polling starts to dip into the low, I mean, he's already in the low 40s. If it gets into the high 30s, I think it's Katie bar the door. Right. Donald Trump, he had some great news recently with some of the court decisions. The Supreme Court is going to take up 2 of his appeals. I don't think any of the Jack Smith trials get there. Maybe the Atlanta trial gets there. I don't think that's jailable. So I think he's in, and I think he's going to win the nomination. And it's you're going to see a lot more of them if that's even possible.
I saw a poll yesterday, I think it was a TIPP poll, credible poll, that said even 60% of Democrats think those charges are politically motivated.
Yeah.
So if he's found guilty, and even those who don't like him, even those who are not in his party, think it was politically motivated, not based on fact, it seems like it will not only have no impact, but could have a springboard impact.
The Republican Party's challenge, though, Tim, is that they have to convince the passive consumer of news that what they're passively scanning, seeing, and hearing is not the truth. Right? That is their ultimate challenge. They've got to inspire these people to get out and vote for their candidate and for their agenda. And it begins with actually passing some of their agenda. But we are increasingly, Vivek Ramaswamy in the CNN debate recently used the term a passive consumer of news. That's describing himself when he was running his businesses. And you can tell with the social media companies how they've sort of bifurcated the audiences, how every social media company is trying to become the next TikTok. There's just less raw news to sink your teeth into. The Republicans have to get into those audiences.
Last question, and that is looking at 2024, your biggest prediction. What's the biggest news story of 2024 when we're sitting here a year from now?
Trump overcoming a lot of challenges to win the Republican nomination, including being threatened with jail.
Mine is not so good news. I believe that Michelle Obama in August at the Democrat convention will become the nominee, will barnstorm for 60 days, will make an appearance on Oprah, will do no debate whatsoever. The media will fawn all over her, and there will be excitement among women, minorities, and that independent voter will be swayed. I fear that next November we will be saying, congratulations, Michelle Obama.
And I hope no member of the Democratic Party listens to that prediction, because you might be right.
For America, we are Tim Constantine, David Bozell.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year, my friend.
You too. Happy New Year.